It's a warm June night in Los Angeles, and I'm lying on my couch wearing a pair of gym shorts, t-shirts, and no shoes. I've just come off of a very successful business campaign, but I don't know what I'm doing next. So I'm on that couch, kind of in between trapezes, deliberating what's my next move. And all of a sudden, I hear a soft knock on my door. Go to the door, and there's a bald-headed gentleman with a purple dot in the middle of his forehead wearing a sari. I think immediately that he's probably looking for some form of a donation. I've got exactly $10 in my gym shorts. So I reach in my pocket and I offer him the $10. And he says, no, 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 no. I'm not here to get anything from you. I'm here to give you something. I said, wow, what a pleasant surprise. Come on in and tell me what I got. Sits in front of me. Of course, I offer him water, something to eat. He doesn't want anything. He just wants to tell me what I now own. He says, Jay, in my tradition, the word Jay means victory, and we say Jay Gurudev, victory to the Guru, victory to the God. And in prayer, your name, Jay, came up over and over again. And I had to find the right Jay. You're it. 3 generations ago, you stepped in front of a dagger in a guru assassination plot. You took your life and saved my life. I'm now back here to give you half of everything I own. I said, oh my goodness, what do we own? He said, well, we developed a whole new way of meditating called rebirthing. So now you're the co-founder of this thing called rebirthing. And we have 30 acres, Campbell Hot Springs in the Sierra Mountains, rich with hot water mineral baths where we do our meditation rebirthing. And you own half of everything. I said, well, let's go. Let's go visit it. Let's go see it. So he jumped into my Porsche, and me and the guru start hurtling north towards the Sierra Mountains. When we get there, I was incredibly impressed. It was a little ramshackle, but there were cabins everywhere, and this big, beautiful building where everybody ate and met and prayed, did yoga, whatever their spiritual practices were, that big building contained it all. Within 3 hours of getting there, and literally within 12 hours of meeting this stranger, I find myself all alone in a one-person hot water mineral bath in the water with only my nose above the waterline. Because the practice was to keep your nose above the waterline and cyclically breathe so that you can release all trauma and find the light. Well, the first time I did it, I lasted about 15, 20 minutes. But eventually I got to the point where I could do an hour. And eventually I got to the point within a matter of 2 or 3 weeks where I could literally be underwater with only my nose above the waterline, doing this cyclical breathing, meditating, and be in the water for hours. One incredible afternoon, one of my long sessions, probably in the third or fourth hour of doing the rebirthing meditation, cyclical breathing under the water, I got a visit. Now remember, I'm not an idiot. I got a visit in my mind. It's not like physically Abraham Lincoln. Of all the people in all of history, guess who shows up in my mind? It's me and Abe, me and Honest Abe, having this incredible conversation. I'm asking him questions, the meaning of life, ontology. I mean, it's a beautiful moment in time. I get out of the hot tub. I wrap myself in a robe and I run down the mountain to tell the guru, whose name, by the way, was Leonard. I tell Leonard, Leonard, listen to the experience I just had. I was with Abraham Lincoln. And he just wasn't Wasn't stunned in any way. It was like every day someone's meeting someone from history. He says to me simply, "What did you learn?" I thought for a moment. I said, "I guess what I learned is that I'm not grown up yet, that there's a part of me that perhaps is missing and that I got to find it." And Leonard says, "Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're sending you back to Los Angeles with an affirmation. You're not complete somehow in your mind. So your affirmation is going to be, you're going to write over and over, go get a bunch of notebooks and write over and over, I am finding my perfect soulmate. I am finding my perfect soulmate." So I hop in the Porsche, speed back to Los Angeles. I buy my notebooks and I start affirming I am finding my perfect soulmate over and over and over again. 2 days into this incredible experience, I'm a little bit exhausted. I decide to get onto Montana Avenue, a beautiful street in Santa Monica. I take a walk and I find this cafe, OG Cafe. OG means today in Italian. And this is long before Starbucks. So when I walk in, I'm stunned because there's real lattes and real espresso and gelato. So the second I walk in the door, I see a young, brunette, brown-eyed, freckle-faced young woman. Oh, she was stunning. And I had what the Italians call a thunderbolt experience. It's like when Michael in The Godfather is in Sicily and he sees Apollonia for the first time and he is struck by a thunderbolt. He's madly in love. I had that experience. It was love at first sight. And the moment I saw this freckle-faced young woman behind that counter, I knew that I had found my perfect soulmate. I knew that I would spend the rest of my life with that young woman. So I sat down, I ordered one coffee. I kept writing. I brought my notebooks with me. Of course, I'm affirming that I'm finding my perfect soulmate. And I'm writing and I'm drinking coffee and writing and drinking coffee. And I'm trying to summon up the courage to go over to the counter and talk to that young woman. I got to admit, it took 5 or 6 cups of coffee. My heart was beating. I thought maybe I was going to stroke out. And finally, I got the courage to go over to the counter. And I very humbly said, "Would you consider developing a personal relationship with me?" And she said yes. I walked her home that day. She only lived right down the street. She was living with her mom. She was only 21 years old at the time. We walked to her mother's apartment. We didn't hold hands, we didn't kiss, but we did arrange to meet one another the very next night. But I know that she knew that we were both going to spend the rest of our life together. Are you finding your perfect soulmate? I bet you will. I bet you can. And some of you already have.